welcome to another episode of the SmaxTalk Podcast. I am here by myself again this time because this episode is going to be a review of my own personal power rankings here and just kind of seeing what I got wrong, what I got right, and how things have laid out going into the finals, which are tonight. This is going to be released on Friday. And this is going to be in the afternoon-ish. And if you're listening live or when this is released, be sure to tune in to the finals at 7 Eastern Time tonight on Friday. And that is March 27th. So, yeah. That's going to be Soulbound Tsunami versus Essentia Storm. Not going to want to miss that one. It's going to be the finals of the Phoenix Rising Academy League Winter Split 2020. So, anyway, I've got my same power rankings. This is the same video layout as the power ranking video too. I've got all of that here. I'm just gonna go through all of this again and see what I got wrong, see what I got right, and just kind of revise how things went. Because of course we've seen the whole bracket. Of course we don't know who is going to win between Essentia and Soulbound, so I can still be wrong here today, but that's part of the fun, I guess. I'm still gonna give my predictions on the finals here because we're not gonna have a traditional episode where I've got a bunch of people with me or a handful of people with me and we go over our predictions in the finals and whatnot. Without further ado, let's hop right in. I've got the D tier here. My only team in this tier is Imperial Knights, and I feel pretty good about this. They definitely did not put on a very good showing against Original. Didn't really have amazing showings as far as their draft went, as far as their game plans went as a team, and I think it really did kind of pan out this way. Unfortunate that I think they still underwhelmed me with their performance against Original because they didn't really pull out anything super creative. And the usual standout performers in Babs and Cruiser didn't really get to pull their weight at all in this set, which is really unfortunate. But yeah, I think I got this one pretty dead accurate. Unfortunate for Imperial Knights, that is. But if I were to do this again after the fact, I would probably still have them as the only D tier team. But moving up on the totem pole, we've got the C tier next. And the first team that I put here in 11th is Team Fish Tacos Supreme. And this team, alongside the others in the C tier, I definitely stand by it. I don't know if I would put any other team down here. And I think this is still a pretty good spot for them. TFT not taking a game off of Soulbound. Of course, Soulbound is in the finals now, so they can at least feel pretty good about that. They can be like, man, we lost in the first round, but it was against the finalist team, so can feel a little bit less bad about it, I suppose. But yeah, it was definitely an ill fortune here for Team Fish Taco Supreme. Again, they are very similar to Imperial Knights. They didn't really have too big a game plan, although they did put up more of a fight than Imperial Knights did. If anything, I would maybe think about moving them down to D tier or somewhere in between. But yeah, as it stands, I think I'm totally fine with this placement here. And then the next team we've got number 10. I've got as Original Esports. Now, Original did put up a much bigger fight than I was expecting against Essentia. I definitely did expect them to 3-0 against Imperial Knights. Like I said before, I think Imperial Knights just didn't really have the structure and the team plans to take down a team like this. So I would probably put them up a little bit. I would definitely put them above the next team. Would I put them in B tier? Maybe. Maybe I would. They definitely did show that they had another team style in this Caitlyn Morgana thing that we saw out of Fakey Rush and Jin. So could be worth considering moving them up. I would probably do it. I would probably put them up in B tier now that I'm really thinking about this. I think C tier is a little bit too low, especially for someone who did take Essentia to 5 games. and almost reverse swept them, which would have been really unfortunate for Essentia getting reverse swept 2 seasons in a row. But yeah, I think I would definitely put them up. They are not deserving of the 10th spot, and in fact, I don't think they're deserving of the C tier. I would put Original up in the B tier. But the next team here we've got is Jet Black. Now, Jet Black is another team that didn't take a win in all of the playoffs, um, and they did so against Akuma Sites. And yeah, they definitely did have some shining moments here. They did solo kill the Scythe's bot lane in all 3 of the games that they played in the 2v2, so that's very impressive. And I think Hit 'em Up Rob did a pretty alright job against Shaden, all things considered. I think Shaden is one of the best performing top laners in the entire playoffs so far. So I think that's definitely commendable that Hit 'em Up Rob did do that, but it seemed like Hiccup got pretty exposed by Ace Ties, and I don't think that Cam really had the most effective series that we've seen from him. Oh, most effective set of games that we've seen from him, because of course that was their first series as a best of 5. Cam did have a pretty nice game 1, but other than that, uh, definitely kind of fell flat for the most part. And yeah, I would definitely still stick this team in the C tier with Team Fish Taco Supreme. Um, yeah, unfortunate for Jet Black, they did get knocked out quite early, so we only got to see 1 series from them, and it was kind of a dud against the Scythes here. But all things considered, still pretty nice team here. I'm still glad that they made playoffs. I think the people saying that the Saturday division was super terrible and not worth talking about kind of wrong. I think the Jet Black still had some promise here, and they may have been able to take at least a game, maybe not the entire series, maybe the entire series against a team that was of a lower caliber than the Sides. I think they might have been able to make it to the quarterfinals. But anyway, let's move on up to the B tier. And the first team that I've got here is Go Next Gaming. Now, I mentioned in my previous power ranking video that if they showed up a little bit more like I was expecting the Go Next of last split to do so, then I would be much more willing to bump them up. And this is one of the main reasons that I even wanted to make this video, because Go Next did have that in their first series that they played, and then in the next series they didn't. they didn't show that really against Essentia. Of course, they did take them to 5 games, but it was kind of more back to the muddled shakiness of the regular season for Go Next here. I think B-Way did get pretty exposed here by Diesel, and Messiah kind of went off the rails a little bit. Like we saw his Graves, which is definitely a more comfort pick for him, but he was definitely less consistent than we've seen before, and I think Bishan couldn't really get off the ground. Similar to Cam actually. Of course, I think Bishan is a superior jungler in that regard, but yeah, I think it showed because they did win 2 games mostly off the back of Bishan. But yeah, I think his top side was a little bit lackluster for that series against Essentia. It's definitely, especially from what I was expecting after their previous series against Akuma Scythes. So yeah, but speaking of the series against Akuma Scythes, they definitely came out swinging in that, and I don't think I can keep them at the bottom of B tier after a performance like that, 3-0ing against Akuma Scythes. So with that, I think that I would keep them above original. I think that's worth mentioning. I would definitely keep them above original here. So um, I would probably also, actually no, I would put them above the next team that I'm about to talk about. Um, just based on playoff performance, of course. Uh, and yeah, the the other team that I have in B tier here, I definitely have to reconsider a little bit. But yeah, I think Go Next doesn't go up to A tier, but I would likely have them at the top of B tier after their performance against Kumasai specifically. But also they took Ascension to 5 games, so yeah, definitely higher on Go Next Gaming than I began And I'm really excited about it because I was definitely looking forward to seeing something like that, something like a resurgence out of them because I was really underwhelmed by their regular season, and I think the other teams were maybe more deserving of the first seed, um, but we can't take that away. We can't take that away from them at all, and yeah, I'm still pretty happy with their performance. I think that they deserve to be higher than I placed them here. But anyway, let's move on to the next team that I've got here. Uh, Rounding out the bottom half of my original power ranking, I've got Aether Esports. This is the team that came in seventh, and I think I would keep them around the same spot, really. Like I mentioned, though, I would put GoNext Gaming above them probably, so maybe they would end up in eighth, maybe below Original too. But a lot of that is just because they had a really weird game plan that they came into. Of course, they catered a lot to their top laner, their new top lane sub, Goob, because they could not use Papachulo anymore. But I think they went a little too overboard with it. I think that Caliburn on 2 games of Senna and 2 games of Ashe was rather strange, as he was usually the Euphelios guy, the Misfortune guy, the guy's rounding out the late game and really being that carry force for Aether. So I thought that was rather strange. Wasn't really a big fan of the Senna Thresh either. I think Senna works very well with melee champions in the bot lane rather than ranged ones, so then you can weave your Q through your ally and hit the enemy. So I wasn't really a big fan of that, and it just kind of felt like they were a bit scrambled. Definitely excusable, I would say. If they had Papachulo, I would have rated them higher originally, and I likely would not even I wouldn't even be talking about them at this stage of the video. They would be higher, and they probably would have made it a little bit farther as well. Because they did take OTAG to Game 5, it would be a lot more likely, at least, that they would have won that series and continued on forward. But as it stands, they did get knocked out in round 1 to a team that I think is really good. To be completely fair to them, I think OTA Glacial is really good, but or they were in this playoffs, of course. But yeah, I think that Ether I would still stick them around here after all things are said and done. But now we've got the one that I think I might be getting the most questions about, uh, in hindsight, of course, and that is I have Essentia Storm at the top of B tier, and they are in the finals. Now, obviously, B tier is too low. I would definitely have them it would be kind of crazy to not have them at least in A tier, maybe an S tier. I'm gonna choose to have them in A tier though, and yeah, at the end of the day here, I think they have looked very shaky. They have played the most games in playoffs, I believe. Actually, no, no, that is true because Soulbound have only played 9 and Essentia have played 10. And Essentia have played less series than Soulbound, which is an interesting stat. But yeah, Essentia playing 10 games so far. Their win rate in playoffs is only 60%, whereas Soulbound is 100, and that's on individual game, by the way. And I think that they were taken to 5 games by teams that I think shouldn't have been that big of a problem. I said before that I think Go Next is a lot better than they were at the beginning of playoffs, and I stand by that. But I think a team like Essentia should not have been pushed to that limit as hard as they were. Of course, it was entertaining, and if they did so for entertainment value, then good job on them. But yeah, I don't think that they really needed to go to that extent, and especially not against Original. I think that they definitely could have had that game plan against Original and stuck with it and won Game 3. But we're here now. They're in the finals, but all of their series have gone to 5 games, and they've just barely scraped by. So I'm still not incredibly confident in Essentia, and I think that there are other teams in this tournament, in the playoffs, that had they been in Essentia's shoes, they would have made it to the finals with a higher than 60% win rate. But I do still think that Essentia is very impressive, and I think that they are a lot better than B tier, and I would definitely put them in A tier. So I would definitely bump Essentia Storm higher than they are here. So yeah, that's the first team in the top half of my previous power ranking video, but we're gonna hop into A tier now. And the first team that I have in A tier again is another one that I'm gonna get a little bit of questions about, and that is Soulbound Tsunami. I have their old logo. I apologize about that, but I'm just using the same format that I did before. Soulbound Tsunami. Obviously, I would have them a lot higher than fifth. I would definitely put them in S tier. I think Soulbound is undisputedly the best team, I would say, at least in my eyes, because they defeated Akuma Katana's 3-0. So yeah, I would definitely put Soulbound at first place. I feel like I don't need to talk about this too much. They have 3-0'd every single opponent that they have played against. They've kind of trolled a little bit too. They played Shaco support, full AP Janna support, a lot of other things as well. Kane support, like Core Havoc's just playing Ultimate Bravery out here and still smashing people. And yeah, I think that they are very, very good. I think that their players individually are phenomenal. I think their team play is also phenomenal. And people are sleeping on Elvis. Elvis is really good. I think Elvis is going to be better than Diesel in the finals. You can quote me on that. But anyway, yeah, I think Soulbound's really good. I would put them up in S tier. And yeah, I think you should too. I think they're really, really good, and I expect them to win the finals. But I'll get to that at the end of the video as well. And yeah, but let's move on to the fourth place team here, and this is a team that did get 3-0'd by Soulbound Tsunami. It's Lost Collective. Now, this is one of the ones that I feel I overrated the most, and I think I got a little bit too high on the Griffin hype train. Not saying that Griffin is bad. He definitely didn't look amazing on the day, but I think I expected too much of Griffin considering the team situation that he was in. I am still very low on their bot lane, even though they were the most consistent performers in the early game. Ezreal just could not carry the late game situations at all. Mostly because he hadn't needed to the entire split up until this point. But when his team needed him most, he vanished, and that is not good. Griffin carried them the other 14 games, and he asked other people to do it in the other three, and they couldn't do it. So that's really unfortunate for Lost Collective. I would definitely bump them down to B tier after knowing what happened. And honestly, like I shouldn't have really expected one person to just be able to carry the entire team. Although I think Griffin is very good, and I still would have him as my number one player before playoffs, of course. Even if I knew the results, I think he definitely underperformed on the day, and I think that minor slip up was just more than enough to make sure that Lost Collective did not win a game. So that's really unfortunate to see. Lost Collective, I would definitely bump them down to B tier, likely underneath Aether and Go Next. By the way, maybe not original, but I would, for those of you keeping track at home, I would bump them under Aether and Go Next Gaming in the B tier. But let's move on over to my third spot. This is Akuma Scythes. And this is a team that has been very interesting. They 3-0'd against Jet Black, and they got 0-3'd against Go Next. And it's just a really interesting spot. I still think that those five players are really individually strong, but it just seems their team cohesiveness and their game plan and everything did not really come to fruition here against Go Next Gaming. I think their drafts were really scattered for the entire series. It seemed like they had different things going on for each. Of course, they were kind of in a panic spiral because they were losing every single game. But yeah, I think after the fact, I would have to bump them down to B tier. I would put them around the same spot as Aether, though. I think that they looked about as scattered as Aether did. Maybe because they did win a series, I have to bump them above Aether, but it was against Jet Black, a team that I have still in C tier, so maybe that is less worth considering here. But yeah, I think I would I would likely put them underneath. It would definitely put them underneath Go Next. I don't think that's disputable here, but I would probably put them tied with Aether. uh, probably a little bit, just a little bit edging them out because they did beat Jet Black, and I think that is still noteworthy. But yeah, definitely down in B tier here after the fact, and yeah, I'm definitely underwhelmed by them. I definitely did think that they could put up a fight here against GoNext Gaming, but GoNext showed up. Really impressed by GoNext, and on the same coin, uh, underwhelmed by Kumasai's. But let's move to my next team here. This is my top two now. Before the playoffs did happen, and this is OTA Glacials. Now, OTA Glacials got completely slaughtered by Akuma Katanas. It was not very close. Uh, I mean, it was closer than I was expecting. To be completely fair, I think Akuma Katanas are really really good, and I still think they're really good, and I think that OTA Glacials put up more of a fight than I was expecting, which is really cool to see. But I did still get 3-0'd. So yeah, that's pretty unfortunate. Obviously, I think that this team is underneath Soulbound, and I think that they are still underneath Akuma Katanas, but I am still completely fine with keeping them at the top of A tier. I'm gonna still have them at third. I think that they still have what I would consider to be the best bot lane duo in the entire playoffs in Ateneo and Merc. And I think that Nutty actually performed really, really well in the Akuma Katana series. Um, I think that he actually looked really good. So, yeah, I think that this team is still. I still think this team was really good. I think that they put up a pretty good performance. It's just kind of unfortunate that they had to go up against such a strong team right off the bat. So yeah, I'm gonna have them at third here after the playoffs still. And you guys may think that that's still really high, but I'm gonna stand by it. I think the OTA Glacials are really good, and yeah, I'm gonna keep them right there. But my top team is left here, jumping up to the S tier. I already spoiled that I don't think this team is the top team anymore, but it is Akuma Katanas. And yeah, I'm gonna keep them in S tier. I'm keeping them in S tier, even though they did get 3-0'd by Soulbound. I think Soulbound is just really incredible, but I think that Akuma Katanas are still really, really good. I think that they will do very well in the series against GoNext Gaming. In the third place match, which is happening tomorrow, if you're listening to this when I upload it. And yeah, I think Akuma Katanas are still really good. I definitely saw the shakiness against Soulbound. Losing to Kane support, not a very good look. But I think by that point their mentals were a little bit in rough shape, thinking that they would just lose outright to Soulbound, and they definitely did. I think Soulbound is very very good, and I definitely think that Soulbound is going to win the whole thing, and I think Akuma Katanas can feel a little bit alright knowing that, especially if they win the third place match. So yeah, I think this team is still really good. I still really like their team play a lot. I'm really excited to see them next split. I'm pretty sure that they are going to be playing next split. I'm like 99% sure. So yeah, I'm really excited about it. I think this team is still really good, and I hope that they stay together in a very close way so I can see them play some more. I'm still an Akuma Katana's fanboy for sure. Uh, but yeah, I think this team is still really good. Can't can't believe that people said that June is a intermediate bot. By the way, I think he did really well in the Soulbound series, especially considering what was going on the top side. But anyway, yeah, I think that this team is still deserving of an S tier spot, just underneath Soulbound Esports, Soulbound Tsunami. So yeah, that is gonna do it here from my power ranking revision. Uh, I'll put up this again. So this is what I had before. Um, I didn't make an updated thing because I was just doing this as it goes, and I was kind of just you saw my thoughts unfold is really what I'm saying. So I didn't make an updated image for it, but this is what it was beforehand, and yeah. Definitely has changed up a little bit. Like I mentioned, I would have 2 teams in S tier. I think I ended up with 3 teams in A tier. Hold on, let me think about this. So I still had OTA Glacials and Essentia there, and I bumped down Lost Collective and Scythe. So it's only 2 teams. Okay, so I kept 2 teams in A tier. For B tier, I still had Essentia. I had Akuma Saiz, Lost Collective, Aether, Go Next, and Original. So that's 6. I put half the playoffs in B tier. That's really interesting. And then I had 2 in C tier and 1 in D tier at the end of it. So, huh, that's really interesting. All right. Well, uh, I mean, I could still be proven wrong here. Tomorrow, Essentia could just completely smash Soulbound. I don't expect it to happen, but it very well could still occur. And or wait, no, I had Essentia in A tier, so there's only 5 teams in B tier. I'm just kind of crazy. Don't mind me. Uh, but oh wait, no, never mind. I don't know. Yeah, whatever. Maybe I'll cut this out. Maybe I won't. But anyway, yeah. As for the finals, like I mentioned before, I do expect Soulbound Tsunami to take the finals. I think they're going to go 3-0. I think they're going to continue their 100% win rate. I have a lot of confidence in this team. I think that they are definitely deserving of the first place spot, and I think Essentia has looked really shaky, and I think you cannot afford to look shaky against Soulbound and Tsunami. Also, Soulbound has already taken 2 games off of Essentia in the regular season, so I think that they have a lot of momentum, a lot of knowledge, and a lot of preparation that they can do to just smash through Essentia Storm and take the trophy at the end. So yeah, I have a lot of confidence in Soulbound, and I think Essentia has done a lot to get to the finals. I think that they are very good. I think they deserve it. But I think Soulbound's just better. So we're going to have to find out tonight. Like I said, it's going to be 7 Eastern time for the game start on Friday, today, March 27th. So yeah, be sure to tune into that. I'm going to be doing the analyst desk stream again for that one too. So it's going to be a great day for that one. The finals of the winter split. And by the way, if you have not signed up and you would like to for the next split, the spring split of 2020, signups are open for that. You can find those in our website and yeah, or in our Discord channel. There's a website to go to there in our links channel. So yeah, be sure to do that if you haven't already. Sign up for the next split. They're closing really quickly. We've got a lot of teams that are interested, so please do that if you haven't already. And yeah, please check out the finals and the third place match and my analyst desk stream as well. Those are all going to be happening tomorrow night and tonight. So yeah, have a good one, everyone. Thanks for watching. This is maybe going to be my last podcast episode for this split, but I still got those streams left. And yeah, I'm going to be doing this again for next split too. So you have not seen the last of me. And yeah, have a good one, everyone. Thanks for watching so much. Please leave a like and subscribe if you liked the video and you would like to see more. Like I said, there's going to be more next split. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. See you all next time on the SmaxTalk Podcast. Bye.